Something very on brand, what I want to talk about today, very non-traditional topic. If this is the first episode you're listening to, that you found me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it is so great to connect. I am Dr. Bamonte, the non-traditional veterinarian. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm waving to you. It is so nice to connect. And today's topic is, once again, non-traditional. What I'm not going to leave you with here is a pet fact episode, or these are things that I would do when. If you're watching, and in fact, if you're not watching this episode, there's going to be a link at the bottom of Spotify and Apple where you can watch it. I highly would recommend it because I'm holding something up that is very, very important to me that happened to me in the middle of July when I went to an ads marketing conference, my second annual one. And I'm holding up this placard here and it says Rainmaker Award, Launch Your Ads Live 2026. If you're like, can't watch it and want to, but what is she holding? But you really should see it. It's beautiful. It's this beautiful glass placard that I'm very nervous to hold. And why this is important is I went to this event, again, my second annual one in just outside of Atlanta. And I went. This year, my business looked very different than last year. In fact, this time last year, I was not offering my in-home services on a mass scale. I wasn't running ads for it. You may be like, why are you running ads for that? That's weird. And I understand because before I started running ads, I knew nothing about ads. And I was like, I feel like ads are for certain types of companies. And the reason I run ads is because I know when I find something I'm looking for, and it's almost like it finds me, how happy and delighted I am that I'm like, oh, it found me. I didn't have to find it. And so that is my whole premise. And maybe we met through an ad, maybe for nutrition consults or in-home services, or maybe you were referred to me by someone who found me from an ad. And ads, I see ads. Again, I try and find the good in everything. The positive lining is that it allows a pet parent like you looking for a veterinarian like me without having to make it difficult. You literally go to the Google machine and you type in certified pet nutritionist near me, dog nutrition, holistic vet near me, and boop, there I am, the thing that you were searching for. And what's beautiful is that maybe you found me on YouTube, maybe you found me on Instagram, maybe it was Facebook, and soon to be TikTok. Is you're like, there I was scrolling, and be like, oh my gosh, I searched for you, got caught up in life, and there you were, and I'm so glad I found you again because I couldn't remember your name, I couldn't remember anything about you other than these few things. And so this placard is so special to me, and I'm probably not going to pick it up anymore because I'm so scared I'm going to drop it, is that I was at this event last year, and I don't remember how many businesses were there, but there were a lot of businesses. I was the only veterinarian last year and had a great time, learned, connected, met more business owners. And why I think this is also so valuable and non-traditional is to be in a room outside of veterinary medicine is because the perspective that is given is, I believe if you or I want to move like everyone else and do what everyone else is doing. And I'm not saying that that is a bad thing. What I am saying is if you want to be different and have different results, you're going to have to move differently. And you can even extrapolate this to your pet's care. If you want different results than what you have been getting, you are probably going to have to think differently. You're probably going to have to approach it differently because the reason I say that is if you're doing what you're doing, you're going to get the same results. If the results are working, great, keep doing it. If they're not, it's time to explore either deeper or different. And I went again to this event this year. My business looks very different. I've now been doing in-home vet services for almost a year. I think I turned on the ads July or August of last year. And it was kind of like word of mouth then. It was kind of like, to the right person. And then I knew that there was a need for what I was doing. I knew that pet parents were searching for somebody like me. I would do hospital relief shifts and veterinarians would be like, where can I find you outside of here? And I'm like, well, it's not really the appropriate thing for me to give you my information while I'm here working for another hospital, unless it's a nutrition consult. And so I went this year. Again, my business has grown. I've added team members, which I didn't have this time last year. I was literally a one-woman show last year. I was handling all the emails. I was handling this. I was doing everything. Not much was automated because I didn't know how to automate very much. And now I have 3 part-time employees, 3 contract workers. And eventually they will be on the podcast. You probably have maybe coordinated or talked to Kendall, our care coordinator. Maybe you've had a visit with Bella. She's my certified vet tech. And Bev is behind the scenes where she does all the tech and helps with the website. And this year when I went to this event, I went in very open-minded that I was like, I'm going to walk away with just one thing. Because when you do something for a little while and you do it for a few years, you're like, okay, am I going to learn something new? Is this going to be different? And maybe you think that about your pets. You're like, I've had pets for 20 years. How can it be any different with this pet? And I want to invite you to just go into something open-minded and tell yourself, if I can walk away with one nugget that is different and valuable, then that was worth the price of admission. And I told myself, let me walk away with one thing. Maybe it was refining one thing. Maybe it was one conversation. Maybe it was one connection. Maybe it was one thought. And I, again, was the only actual veterinarian in the room. There was about 200 to 250 business owners in there. There was another veterinary hospital there. It was the office manager and the wife of the veterinarian, but I was the only veterinarian there. And the last day, I had no idea that there were going to be awards and recognition. No clue. I didn't know what was going to happen. In fact, before, the event, they did ask for those of us attending as an RSVP, so they had a head count for tables and chairs and food. Like, hey, is there anything that you're really proud of? And I wrote some things I was proud of. Had no idea how this was going to show up. Didn't know if it would be a collage, if it would be things that were just randomly dropped throughout the 2 days we were there. And then at the end, I saw for the agenda for the last day that at the end of the day, there was Rainmaker Awards. And I was like, that's going to be really cool because there are some awesome business owners in here that are doing incredible things, that are helping people transform their lives, making things easier, helping them find, there's all types of business owners. There's website designers, there's influencers, there's Pilates instructors, Pilates owners, there's construction, there is social media managers, there's, oh my goodness, chiropractors, dentists, physical therapists, there's lighting, there's outdoor construction. There's pet dog breeders. There's all kind, you probably name an industry, it was probably there. And as we were sitting down to go over the awards and recognition, I get so inspired by these. And at first there was a screen up that had honorable mentions and recognized a lot of the names on there. And I was like, these are some pretty baddie business owners that do some pretty baddie things that have generated a lot of money. And it's not that the money is a signal to how many lives that they have improved. And that's how I see money now, is like when you hear someone who has had a $30,000 month or a six-figure month, and I'm thinking, wow, they've helped a lot of people. They have provided a solution to a lot of people that had problems. That's how I see it. And I see the honorable mentions. There's people doing like six-figure months, which is crazy to me. And then they go on to the actual awards. And I was the first one called. And I literally sat there and I wish someone had the video and I was like, do I go up there? What do I do? Do I stand here? I had no idea. I was caught off guard. Don't even know what they said because I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I'm like, I am the only veterinarian here. I feel like I'm a small fish in this big pond. There are huge business owners with bigger businesses. Not only do they generating revenue, but bigger teams, and their impact is just on a different scale. And to be honored, okay, I lied. This is the last time I'm gonna hold it. To be given this was an honor. And this placard is a true symbol of all of the pets that I have helped and I'm going to continue to help. This is what it signifies to me, is that to be called up there on that stage, to be recognized, one of 10 businesses out of the 200 and something that were there, it is an honor. Because it shows me that the work I'm doing matters, that it is seen by people outside that I'm helping, and that these transformations are so valuable. And because I decided to be non-traditional and run ads, I decided to be non-traditional and be non-traditional in my services, and that people were looking for it, and the right people are looking for it. Now, not everyone who approaches for my services is a good fit, and that's okay. I understand that, and it may be mutual. But this placard shows me that when you think differently, you can move differently. And when you move differently, you can get different results in the way that you want to. Sometimes it is slowing down and being patient and knowing that you are actively thinking and doing differently, and it's just a matter of time to see the results. And sometimes it is literally reprogramming your brain to do things differently than you have done because you are ready for the next level, because you're ready for the next result, because you're ready to improve. And I feel like everything I'm saying, you can definitely apply it to your pet's health. Like, this is your invitation to. In fact, if you're like, I love your mindset, I would love to work with you with my pet. At the bottom of this episode, I'm going to have links where if you're not local to the Tampa Bay area, to schedule your virtual nutrition/lifestyle consultation, where we can talk about your pet's nutrition and lifestyle and ways that you can support them with either supplements, food, and lifestyle changes. If you're local to Tampa Bay area, I want to invite you to click the in-home link where you can fill out a form. My care coordinator will reach out to you, Kendall, and we will coordinate that appointment for you for your pet. This award, in fact, the next day I messaged my team, all of them individually, and told them thank you. I was like, I know that some of you have been with me 7 months, 6-7 months. Some of you have been with me 3 months. Some of you have been with me a little bit longer. I was like, but you all played a role in this. I know that I earned this plaque because it was my hard work. It was my investment. It was my time sitting in front of the computer. It was sometimes giving up nights. It was sometimes giving up weekends. Sometimes it was opening the computer when I told myself I wouldn't. It was making these tweaks. It was getting frustrated. It was holding out hope. It was spending money and hoping that the money would return. So that way I could grow financially, which means I can serve more pets because I can gain more knowledge. I can hire more staff. And I did an episode on that, on why you want your vet to earn more money. I think it was episode 39. And I just released an episode a few episodes ago, I think it was 53 or 54, on like why it's actually important for your vet to take off time. But I also sent out a thank you to my team because I was like, whether you've been with me a month, 3 months, 6 months, 7 months, you have played a role in this in allowing me to be the best vet and best business owner possible because of your support. And so it also is a reflection of those around me. And I'm so, so proud of this. I'm so honored. And I feel like it's even more of a reason to keep up what I've been doing, because to be one of 10 in that room, I still am just like, are you sure we got this right? I know they did, and I know I'm qualified, but also it was just astounding. Again, to be the only veterinarian, I'm thinking differently, I'm moving differently, I want differently for my pets, I want different for the industry, but I'm only one veterinarian. So what I can do is make my impact where I am and for the pet parents and help who I can. And hopefully that pet parent will talk to another pet parent. And whether they see me or not, hopefully they maybe convince them in a very positive, ethical way to think differently about their pet, to think differently about the care that they're getting, to think differently about how to help support them through their senior years, to think differently on how they raise this puppy, to think differently on how they feed this dog, to think differently on how they feed their cat. That is my whole premise, is because I want pets to live better so that they can live longer with their pet parents. And I want to be the vet that your pet is thankful for.